All right.
So
But
we're
yeah, we're just letting them know where you're at and trying to, the background, your history, your late father that started it. I mean, you've been around. You know your shit. You know your people. You've done a lot. And I think that a lot of the new project coming out and stuff like that can, I think that's just the backing. It's exciting to know that somebody that's been around cares. And they haven't had that in the industry for a long time. Majority of this industry has been greed and not people, and we've made it more of a community and people project.
Well, absolutely, my friend. Well, I think for the folks here, the fact that you're recording this for others, I will go back into a history that I think might be meaningful to people. So my dad was a great father to me through high school, and a little disillusioned like people did in the late 60s with college. And of all things, I was a Marine Corps officer candidate and didn't really, I'm not a gung-ho guy or anything. I was trying to get some extra money for college, and I was such an athlete that I had won the Naval Fitness Championship for the Naval ROTC, and I switched over to Marine Corps ROTC. But somehow I got extruded through some peer pressure and other things. Ended up in the Marine Corps, and I did enlist, but I only wanted 2 years, and that's a death sentence in 1968 because you will go to combat if you pick a 2-year enlistment. I didn't know that. They also pick the bravest and the best. They take a lot of college boys with a 2-year, and then they train up really well, and they make them into leaders. What ended up happening to me was I ended up being a night patrol leader for First Reconnaissance for the Marine Corps in Vietnam. Very similar to SEAL Team 5. The training is extremely hard. So my whole tour of duty was 7 months training, heavy duty Marine Corps training, 7 months combat, and 7 months in the hospital. And that was my complete tour of duty. In other words, in 21 months, I was in I still was just out of a full body cast. I have 7 feet of scars, 84 inches of scars. I have 3 titanium joints. My right leg is 1.5 inches short. The other was blown in half. So obviously in my 70th night patrol, I was severely ambushed. Why am I getting all this background? Because the first time I actually really got high was in Vietnam, never in a combat scenario or out of the rear area. But in the rear areas, we used to get high, and as our shirt will display, we had a neat term for getting high back then, and it was called getting nice. And it's pretty neat because the Marine Corps, our motto is agile, mobile, and hostile. So So in the rear area, a dude would come up to another guy and say, hey man, are you going on patrol tonight? Well, no, I'm not. Well, you want to get nice? I'd say, well, yeah. So I actually did get high then. I did feel the actual feeling of the expansion, the revelatory feelings, the deeper understanding, the momentary, even blissful feelings of it all. And I understood it really well. And when I came back to the world, that's what we call it, the world. When I came back and got out of the hospital, I wanted so much to participate in what was going on in the spring of 1970. Because when I left to go in the Marine Corps, there was massive anti-war demonstrations going on, and it was a questionable war. And when I came back, there was the same exact thing going on. And of course, the dumb kids had a hatred against the military. Well, now they don't do that anymore. You want to hate somebody, hate on somebody, you can hate on your government that is doing all this and then pushing military in front of them. An ancient adage is old men sending young men to die. So anyway, as it was, I was in a body cast because my legs were shattered and stuff. And I was a patrol leader that night, but I was walking in a double point to try and help my point man. And so it was a bad night. So basically I got out and started getting nice with my friends. Well, it wasn't even a half a year. My father had ultimate respect for you because I'm going to tell you a minor story. When I got wounded in Vietnam, the 2 dressed blue Marine Corps guys walked up the front stairs to my parents' home and said, "We are sorry to inform you that your son has been killed in combat." And they left. Well, that was one tragic moment for my family. I'm the oldest of 32 cousins. And like my younger cousin, Steve, he's a tough guy, very tough guy. He was in 9th grade at the time, and he's just collapsed in the phone booth and just left school and walked around sobbing all day long. And it was a big fat mess until they came back that night. The dressed blues came back, and said, we're very sorry, we made a mistake. Your son is alive, but we don't know if he has his legs. So this is a true story to the letter, what happened to my parents and to my family. So when I called him a week later from Japan and said, hey, Dad, I just got a couple pieces of shrapnel stuck in my legs. And, I'll be fine. I'll be home. And he said, the hell with that, man. I'm talked to the congressman. I'm getting you here. I'm doing this. I didn't know that had happened. And he never told me that for a year after I got out of the military. He did tell me that those people said I was killed in combat. So my dad had great respect for me. And this is the backdrop to the story. My dad says to me one night, I'd only been home for a few months, and he said, hey, Jeff, you ever smoked marijuana in Vietnam? I said, actually, I did in the rear areas. He said, but did you get high? And I said, oh, yeah, I did. He says, well, I smoked marijuana a couple of times. I didn't get high. Now, he was a jet setter, and my stepmom was a wonderful lady at the time, so they'd fly to Vegas and do all these things, and so they'd try out marijuana. Young people were ruling back there in the late 60s. So I said, well, Dad, you probably just didn't have the right stuff. Let me help you. So what do you think I helped him with? I got him real Acapulco gold, which was the color of golden straw, and some beautiful Lebanese dark hash. It was just beautiful. So, we smoked together, and I looked over about 20 minutes later, and I saw my mom and my little girlfriend, their heads were only like 6 inches apart back on the couch, and they were sleeping so nicely. And so Dad and I, 5 minutes later, we're hanging over the refrigerator and looking for something to eat. And then I knew that we were high. We were arm in arm, kind of hanging over the refrigerator. So that was my dad's first time getting high. Should I stop now and ask if there's any questions or comments?
No, you're good, man. I think you got us all captivated. I mean, it's nice hearing. I love it.
Yeah, I'm hoping, Eric, that there's things here that in these details that you don't even know, and I was hoping that there's some value there.
There's a lot of shit I don't know. I'm trusting you right now. I've known you forever. I'm like going, oh shit.
Oh, there's a lot here. Yeah, I didn't even begin. I have a 3-hour tape that I do not have on the internet. At this point in the break, I'd like to tell people, if you want to know about me, look up Jeff Kundert on the internet. And what the guy that it is wellness educator. There's another Jeff Kundert from PT Northwest. He's a physical therapist, nice guy out there, in Seattle. But I am Jeff Kundert, the guy standing in the boat at 62 years old, who looks like a pretty shredded athlete. And anyway, so let's get back to it. I'll give you the history, folks, because why are we doing this whole American Cannabis Society token, Reefer token? Because there's a real thing happening here, and I lived through it. I lived exactly through this era. And so Dad, after about, he started getting high with us a bit, and it starts to change you. Cannabis, my friends, I'm not only a wellness educator, I'm a registered occupational therapist. But moreover, I'm also a spiritual teacher and teacher of deep meditation and yoga that I learned in the Himalayas when I was there in 1981 and much beyond that. But the idea is that cannabis is really a healer in the psychosocial, emotional, and spiritual parts of your being. It actually opens you up over time to a different way of being. So if you're a person who just smokes herb mostly and doesn't do anything else, you have a beer once in a while, and that's me. I have a couple drinks a week, maybe. I had a half a beer tonight. That's it. And
didn't know that.
Yeah, so I don't do much anything else. If you see a person in your life who, of course, you look on their on their table or coffee table, they got some cocaine there and some other drugs and some other stuff, and they got some herb there. That's not the person I'm talking about. That's a person that just wants to change something. They just want to get away now. I'm talking about a person who is an herb person. Now, that kind of person will be smoking herb a bit, and it will change them over time. You see, these are peaceful people. Even the police started recognizing this in the mid-'70s. They started not to wanting to bust marijuana people, even though the federal government and the Schedule I garbage and all that stuff was still there. All that was still there, but they didn't want that to do that. They understood that herb was a different substance, and I'll give you an example. You got two guys sitting on a bale of pot. It's 40, 50-pound bale, right? They grab a piece off, they smoke a joint, they laugh about it, they exchange a bunch of money. And, and then they move along, right? This is the 70s, right? Well, now you've got 1 ounce of cocaine. That's $2,000. The other thing I told you was $60,000, right? You got $2,000 ounce of cocaine, and you got people, they're standing around, they're all tough, they got a gun, they're all shit. What do you mean? That has nothing to do with cannabis, with the joy and the depth of this cannabis. So you can feel the difference in all levels of this. So what I'm getting to is, after a while, my father said, "Why is this illegal, son?" I said, "Well, you got to look to your government, and you got to look to money. You got to look to," eventually we realized, with ourselves, and my father was a dear personal friend of Jack Herer, and so am I. So was I. And now I'm still a friend of Dan, his son. We're the 2 prodigal sons still alive. But I'll be 75 next summer, my friends. So it's up to you all to carry this ball, to carry this torch toward freedom for everybody to understand this wonderful substance. So anyway, my dad says to me, well, why is that? I said, well, look toward what hemp does. Food, fuel, cloth, paper, medicine, the best of all those. And medicine, I mentioned too, and a textile. They make BMW deck lids, trunk lids out of hemp. They make homes out of hemp that won't even burn. The whole stuff that doesn't even burn. So what I'm getting to is that hemp, cannabis in all of its forms is what this really is about, American Cannabis Society. So my father finally, he's sitting with my brother Steve Ron, God bless him. He won 3 Purple Hearts in 3 months in Vietnam, wounded 3 times in 3 months in a terrible reactionary unit in the Marine Corps. And he's home. He came to pick me up all the time when I was in a body cast, Anyway, so it is. So Steve Ron and Dad are sitting there smoking one out at our country at home in Oregon, Wisconsin, 20 miles out of Madison one day. And they looked, and on our top of our television set, we had the little placard in blue block letters that said, "Thank you for not smoking." And in script below it, it said, American Cancer Society. Because we didn't want people smoking cigarettes in our house, even though my dad did smoke cigarettes, God bless him. But we didn't have that in our house. So basically, up out of nowhere, Steve Ron walked up and changed the thank you for pots not smoking, the N to a P, and made it into thank you for not smoking. I think it was my dad that did that one. And then Steve walked up after that and changed cancer to cannabis, and that's how it was born. Now you all know this, that it's a playoff of thank you for not smoking, American Cancer Society. And I'll give you a little story on the edge of this too. My dad, after he got his copyrights right away for us, and you know that American Cancer Society sounds like American Cannabis Society, and thank you for pot smoking, etc. So he went to New York City. While he was there doing other things, my dad was an inventor and a construction company owner. He's a brilliant guy. And he went there and he said to American Cannabis Society, "Do you see what you got here and what we got? You're infringing on us. We can shut you down." And they were dirt scared. And Dad said, "I'm not going to do that. That's not the kind of person I am. But I am telling you this. You should tell people this. Thank you for not smoking. Thank you for pot smoking." Because thank you for pot smoking is a way out of cigarettes. It's something else you can do that's much more valuable. And of course, they couldn't do that. They were scared to death of that whole idea. But Dad said, "There's no way I'm going to take that from you." And that's how it was all born. And that's when Dad started. Now, I want to tell you that he worked on this all the way from 1978 to the year 2000 when he died, wearing his "Thank You for Pot Smoking" shirt in the nursing home. and right to his passing, when people were dropping joints in his casket one after another, and we were really pretty plussed by that, because we figured when they finally they cremated him, there'd be a lot of different smells coming out of that baby, because all those joints that were being burned in there with him. Anyway, I gave his funeral address, and that may be on the internet still. It was a beautiful funeral address about my dad and all the phases of his life. So he did this work from 1978 to the year 2000, to the year he died, never quit once. He had 10,000 card-carrying members, which we will reinstitute now with a beautiful plasticide professional card for every card-carrying member. He had 10,000 card-carrying members, sold 10,000 shirts, and had 100,000 bumper stickers. And he had tens of thousands of followers, and with no internet, my friends. No internet. My dad went to every trade show in the United States. He was everywhere. He traveled and traveled. And let me tell you, my dad was never a rich man. When he was in construction, he did pretty well. He owned a home and a new car and stuff, and that was fine, but not rich. But he was willing with his passion to pour his whole heart and soul into something. And he did it for American Cannabis Society. So in no way was he a wealthy man. He did not die at all wealthy, but he was wealthy in terms of his friends. He had friends from between 21 years old up to 80 years old at his funeral. And he would have been 79 in 3 weeks. So that's that kind of person he was. He had made friends with everyone of every age. Young people loved him and said, "You are the coolest old guy we've ever seen." He rode a Harley. He rode with us. I rode Triumph, my buddy BSA. And we rode together. We did everything together. Our lives were together. My father was a national champion karate competitor in his 50s. And he brought my brother Steve Ron and me into it. And we were national champions in Taekwondo and freestyle martial arts. And so we did this all together. And so Dad just flowed with us through all these passages of time and all these decades. And he really made the American Cannabis Society. And I actually was languishing a bit with it after 2000. I had been in college. I finished at 50 years old in my medical major. And actually it was Eric, I must say, that said, "Would you like to do something with this? There's really something here." I said, "Well, yeah, there sure was something here. It's a tremendous organization." And we had friends in Florida that were helping it along too. And I did some writing and publishing for it and everything. But Eric said, "Let's do something here." And he started to move forward with American Cannabis Society. So with that done, we had all of our shirts and things we were doing and everything. And then, well, we couldn't get any urban in our state of Wisconsin. So Eric said, "I think I'd like to start a CBD store." There are none. So it was simply, there was two of us starting the whole state of Wisconsin, essentially, and three to four total stores in the whole state. And in the end, we worked, Eric and I, so hard in those first 2 years on Green RX Madison and linked American Cannabis Society to it. So there's more depth to this now, that it goes into Green RX Madison. Like, I would like you people to please watch American Cannabis Society YouTube channel. There are 45 videos on there that are so full of substance.
Jeff, hang on, let me cut you up.
What
I know
happened?
Fred just got. No, you're all good.
Yeah.
You said American Cannabis Society. So here's the issue we're having. There's a lot of social media that we can't get into. We're having a hard time with our Facebook, our YouTube. I mean, and the problem is, remember when we started our social medias in the beginning, we were kind of new at it, so we were getting fucking banned and threatened by. But you know what I'm saying? Nowadays it's different. But I honestly, I know Fred's going. Fred's got a hard on for our social media. He wants it all back. I mean, Fred's biting his tongue right now. I guarantee you, or he's really stoned out the shit I sent him. Trust me. But Ray, we're Stones. You got anything to add to that? But so guys, here's one thing I want to say. Should I work my nuts off to try to figure all those old ones out, or should we go at it new and do more like an ACS with, you know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? I mean, Stones, Fred, come on, guys.
Fred.
Anybody? I can.
All right.
I can.
Well,
I mean, I can
I'll stand
try
up
to
a
get
little
it.
bit here.
Go.
Yeah, I agree with the social medias because I mean that's where everything's at now. People, when they decide to research something, if they can't turn on their computer or get on their phone and research it and find out about it, they're not going to even look at it.
Yeah, I think
because
it's
it doesn't
important
exist in
too.
that fabric.
Okay.
It needs to be the name.
Gotcha. Check this out, Jeff. Explain to them about all the video stuff you have that we could use to help pump this through social media. You know what I'm saying? Like all the. Jeff,
Yeah.
I swear to
So
fucking God, guys.
I have. You can go immediately on to, if you type American Cannabis Society, you'll get everything. But if you type AmericanCannabisSociety.com, that's where we got a problem here. But anyway, American Cannabis Society YouTube channel, that has got everything there, 45 videos. And then there's also 12 more videos for Green RX Madison. They're very good videos, full of life and substance. Now, I must admit that I never did the monetization. I just threw them all up there, all these videos. And so they look like they have very few views. But YouTube, as you'll know, Ray and Fred, that YouTube, if you don't go with them and monetize, they will actually minimize you. They'll marginalize you. They'll put you in the corner and they won't give you views. They won't even show the views you have. So a lot of my videos out there have 40 and 80 views. I have one with 170,000 views. That was the first Cannabis Cup we went to. But it's because the lead picture, the thumbnail picture for the video is a great big Christmas tree bud. So every kid in the world went on that one. That doesn't impress me as much as the high level of truth and substance and knowledge that are in those other videos. And I think you'll truly enjoy them. Although, as you know, gentlemen, that YouTube is very hard to find the channel. You have to go through hell to find the channel. You have to find a video. So all you have to do is put Jeff Kundert on the YouTube search bar, and all of my videos will come up, 150 of them. And in those, as soon as you hit a cannabis video, as you know, underneath it, there's a bold American Cannabis Society. Bam, you hit that, and now you're on the channel. So that's a quick way to get there, is to type my name, Jeff Kundert. And if you folks ever want to know more about me or anything, you look on the Jeff Kundert Wellness Educator thing, and that's that part. So that's all there, lovely. The Facebook stream is there. That's lovely. It's been going on for like 6 years. If you go back through the stream, there's a lot of wonderful substance and history, and just a forward-thinking, dialogue for keeping this whole cannabis movement going forward. Is that right,
All
Eric?
right. So yeah. So all right. So real quick, guys, what I'm going to do is we're going to find a way to. So with YouTube, we've been getting squished, right? And Peng's been going fucking nuts. We're not, and Peng's not here right now, Jeff. Peng's one of the project managers. We're not able, anytime we put a fucking product video up there, Peng says we're getting strikes. We can only get so many. So we're going to have to pull our videos down, and we're going to post our AMAs. Now, check this out, guys. What if we monetize Jeff's videos, all his videos, he keeps making more. Psychological, spiritual, whatever the fuck Jeff wants to do, right? Hear me out, guys. And
100%.
our token sponsors those videos. He's not talking about cannabis. He's not talking about, our brand just sponsors him in every video. Okay? The stuff he's doing, there's so much stuff out there, it's going to reach more people tenfolds than fucking cannabis videos. So I'm thinking, what if Jeff did like a video about, hi, I'm Jeff. This is the best thing to do in the world. This is how you cook fucking pizza, right? Sponsored by our token, so we get that all on those videos, right? I think that's the best way to do it. Now, any cannabis videos, we've already figured out, what was that called on fucking, if I get verified or blue check or whatever the fuck Elon Musk is fucking making people pay for on Twitter, we can post all our shit videos that YouTube doesn't allow on Twitter without getting fucking ass. You feel me? We could literally use, Jeff, I'm telling you right now, guys, Jeff has fitness, psychological. He's got so many fucking videos. I don't even know what he's got, to be honest.
Also
right?
Rumble.
So, but he's got a ton of videos that we can actually use. We could use them. We could sponsor them. We could sponsor them with our brand. Just have to talk about our shit. We can just sponsor them. That's one way to get in with all those videos. That's the only way I can think about it without YouTube banning the shit out of us.
Well, I
one
think
thing
it's
is,
very beneficial because it's about helping people too. It's not just about cannabis. It's about a culture. And what he's describing is about the culture. So I think there's a lot of benefit to what you're talking about.
You see, Jeff, I told you Stones was good. He gets it right away.
Yeah, good man. Well, the one thing this will do, my friends, is put me to work, because if you want to monetize, you have to work, because you require 500,000 views in the first year, and then all that. Then they start paying you for it. But the way to do this, I was told, my friends, stop cold at this. I actually need a professional optimizer. What they do is you're set up on every platform, and then on every platform that you can communicate on, at which time you start writing for these platforms. And I have no problem writing. I'm a machine for information, and I don't mind that. But the thing is, you have to write, and then you have to take down all your videos, take them down, and then this is what I've been told by optimizers, and then you bring them back in two a week, or 1 or 2 a week, while you're doing all these talking points, and then you garner up more and more and more. You're hoping that you get more and more followers as you go along. And do you guys know how to do that, or know anybody that does?
We could do that. So check us out.
Yeah.
Why don't you let us tell your life through our token?
Well, that's nice. I mean, that's a great idea. I'm not against it, that's for sure. It's a good thing. I mean, yeah, I haven't told you 5% of the stuff that I've actually done in my life. I kind of have a very diverse life, and have enjoyed it a lot. And so, yeah, like I said, I'll be 75. But if you look at the series of pictures, I mean, that means a lot.
Question. Stop for a second. You keep saying I'll be 75. What are you getting at? What does that mean? I'll be 75. That means you have 10 good years?
Yeah, 10 good years. No, I'm still an athlete, no doubt about it. I'm getting in better shape right now. So, yeah, so we're working it out still. I'm always there for, in the fitness world. It's meant a lot to me and has done a lot for me. I was winning national fitness contests at over 50 years old. So, so I really maintained that Marine Corps attitude, yet I maintained that get nice attitude too, and the spiritual attitude as well. So, I need help. That's all. Just consider this. I'm a machine of content and information. I can just flow and write. I have 20, 30 articles written on fitness and health that are just sitting, and I got to get them out in the world and through certain ideas. And I have 150 videos, like I said, all kinds of audios, interviews, all these other things that are out there. They're very, very, a lot of them are really good, and a lot of cannabis ones. So I actually need help, is what I'm saying, my friends.
Hey, Jeff, this is Ramel. I just want to say, as a fellow Marine, I just want to say Semper Fi. And I appreciate your time coming on to talk to us. Over.
You bet. Back at you. Was this solo?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Well, yes, it's very good to see you. Yeah. Back at you. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I tell you, it was 54 years ago that I was in Vietnam. And I'll tell you, I can tell you, I went back there in 2003, a fitness magazine. I had won this big contest, and the magazine had a big was going to write a big article about me. And because you can see the scars all over me and my legs and stuff and what have you, when I was standing for my fitness pictures. And so they decided they'd take me back to Vietnam and go out to the very spot I was wounded. I would be standing on that spot, and they'd take pictures there, and then they write the article, 6 pages in Muscle Media magazine at the time. And so it was glorious to go back there and find out that the Vietnamese people can't stand the Russians or Chinese, and they absolutely love us. And those guys get their money, but we get their love. So it's nice to know that in the end, it all came around that they love Americans. And it's not just the tourism. They like our culture. We're kind of cool people. Americans are tough and they're forward thinking. They're, they got their own way of thinking. They're upstart people, and they like us. And isn't that nice to know, Solo?
100%.
Yeah. So anyway, time goes on, and the way I do it, the way I manage stress is to do the Be Here Now method. This is one of my 1,000 little slogans. Are you in your mind, or are you in the moment? Are you in your head, or are you in the moment? So it's good to get in the moment and do what's happening. It's also good to, to ascertain things and measure things in your mind a little bit. But it's really good to be flowing with the moments. And that's called mindfulness, I know, but it's just another way of saying that. So I don't do think much about Vietnam. I can tell lots of fun stories about the good times. I have a 3-hour interview in the War Memorial and up on the square in Madison, Wisconsin there, that's sitting in the archives. But nonetheless, it's good to live now. This can be a good life for us. We can make this a good life. We have very hard times right now. My dad said cannabis will save the world. You know what? That guy, I'd say, well, Dad, but no, I get it now. I really get it. It is the number 2 income earner for the state of Colorado. Now, I admit the oil and gas industry is number 1, but they've been around for 75, 80, 100 years. Cannabis has been around for 6, 7 years here, totally legal. And they're holding the number 2 position. They're literally supporting the economy of the state. Now, I tell you that Wisconsin has 100,000 more people than the state of Colorado, which would mean that we would also make $250 million a year in taxes. And as you know, our state is surrounded by legal states right now, and 10% of all their business comes right out of Wisconsin. And so at any rate, we got to get the regressives to roll that over a little bit and get us, for the people, for the sake of the people. The American Cannabis Society stands for this: grow, use, and share. If you want to have a dispensary, well, be fair about it and do a good job, good for you. But we want everyone to be able to grow it if they want, use it if they want, and share it if and when they want. That's the simple triangle law that you'll see in my videos there. Grow, use, share. And it makes total sense for the people. It's all about, the common folks. Most people in America have less money than you think. They may be driving around an okay car, but this statistic will shock you. 70% of Americans can't get a hold of $1,000 in cash. So it's not that wealthy of a nation right now, except for the uber rich, which that's kind of a stomach turning idea there, that more money makes you a better person or some garbage like that. So anyway, the idea is for us to rally around cannabis continually, because it will be a top income earner in every single state it comes into, and it does nothing but good for everyone it gets around. The illegal drug use goes down, alcohol goes down, crime goes down. People actually have mental illness goes down. People having a better life goes up. It's just proven by cities in Colorado that 2 cities are bumped together. One city decides to make it not legal in their city, and the other says it's legal. And the whole one that's legal flourishes in every way. And the other one just bumps along, barely making it. It's so obvious that cannabis will do this for our world. And it sounds almost too idealistic, but it really is true. Because imagine, frickin' people like Putin, he ain't gonna smoke herb, or all these other, a lot of people, look at a lot of these super fast-paced, high-paced money people. They don't want herb. They want alcohol and maybe cocaine. They don't want herb. Herb is for the special people. And once people get wind of what it is, it used to be a big deal in the 70s to turn people on. In other words, to sit down with them and say, no, you're not going to smoke when you're drunk. We're not doing that for you, because then you'll throw up and then you'll blame the herb. And we're not going to smoke, we're going to do this nicely. We're going to give you something very nice. Nowadays, I would certainly give them a little indica. We want you real quieted now. We don't want your mind going too fast. So just give me a little bit of indica, and we'll sit back and relax a minute with it. And then they feel something. And that's a lovely thing to do. And it wouldn't hurt the world. It's, to me, the highest thing that a human being can do actually is a deep sense of inner communion. And you can get that inner communion by walking through the woods and sitting quietly, or by being with your children that you truly love, or being with a friend or a loved one who you truly love, and you feel that and know that, by serving people without thinking of the reward involved, just by serving. These are some of the highest activities a human being can do. And herb is one of them. It's one of the highest activities that a human being can engage in. Now, which really makes me feel good, although I caution people on this, hallucinogens in the 70s, in the late 60s, the real people, the real, quote, not just hippies, but the forward-thinking people, what they were interested in more than anything else was consciousness expansion. What are we doing here? Why are we here? Are we supposed to just turn on, tune in, and drop out Is that what we're supposed to do and get out of it all? We're supposed to live in society quietly, or what are we supposed to do? The young people, they're always hitchhiking to Haight-Ashbury, and they were. And Woodstock happened while I was in combat in the spring of '69. I got to go to a rock festival, man. So people were, and the only drugs that we cared about, the only things for conscious expansion that we cared about, my group that was the leading group, we cared about hallucinogens and cannabis. That was it. We didn't do any of the other drugs. We had no use for it because it's just an escape. We weren't trying to escape. We're trying to expand. And that still exists. But I caution people to be careful with hallucinogens, because if you are, like I just wrote that on American Cannabis Society Facebook today, if you already have depression, anxiety, suicidal tendencies, you're addictive, you have all these things going on, and you take a monumental trip, what do you think that everything's going to go good all of a sudden? It's going to change all your brain chemicals and you be all great the next day? Not necessarily. You could leap off a building that night. So I'm not totally for the blanket carte blanche legalization of hallucinogens without some professional understanding of it and a lot of information to help people. They decriminalized Colorado, and we've had no incidents so far, but it's still an important thing. But hallucinogens are the other one that will expand and change your mind, your brain, your being, your spiritual understanding. These two substances. Do I have some agreement on that?
You're here.
Yeah. So
Yes, I agree with you 100%.
You bet, Fred. Hey, Fred, I asked you a question. You said you were on the farm here. I read that. Are you a bow hunter?
No, actually, I don't really hunt. I got a lot of family that does, and they were out here hunting tonight. But I myself, I do not hunt.
But
at this
Fred,
time.
why are you called Fred Bear?
There's a really long story to this. It was called Anonymous Social Media, and I designed this name way back in the day to talk to one of my sons when his mother took him out of state, and that's just why I created the name, and it just kind of stayed with me, and it's just kind of what I've had since then.
Well, it's kind of cool, Fred, because whether you know it or not, I don't know if you know, but Fred Bear was the initiator of modern bow hunting in the United States of America. Fred Bear was an incredible old wiry guy who used to pull a 100-pound bow. He was just an incredible guy, and so I thought you had something to do with that there, my man. Anyway, good on you, Fred. Just saying hi there, yeah. Well, Eric, how are we doing, Eric? Any questions I could help people with? Or
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I know Fred had a question.
I definitely know
go
the
ahead,
history of them, and yeah, that's cool that you gave me a little bit more on that. But yeah, good talking to you too.
You as well, my friend. And Eric, are any of you there? Is there any other subjects I might speak on?
Fred was wondering. I know Fred had talked about in the main room while you were talking. He was like, "Hey, we need a trademark. Getting nice." No, I know I've been using a TM by it, but did we attempt to do that and they were like, "Fuck off"? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it is a generic term that that can be used by anyone, and I don't think that then it's trademarkable. But I'll say this: I've learned a lot about trademarks. It's a kind of a fake organization of material, because most trademarks owned by anyone who isn't very wealthy are constantly being stolen and used by others. So if you're a Raytheon or something, or General Electric, you will aggressively defend your marks and you'll win. But the average person, they just keep chipping away at you. But this is now the good side is first use is everything. We're already using Getting Nice. It's now ours because we use it. If someone else tried to trademark, we just go first use. We had first use of that. We trump your mark. We've been using this for years. So we are good on Getting Nice just because of our use, and just keep using it. I'm glad you said that, because I just think it's cooler than heck. And people I come around, I tell them, why don't you use this term? Why don't you say, let's get nice, or are we getting nice, and then the history of it's really cool. I gave you the history. The history is the Marine Corps in Vietnam and what getting nice meant compared to what you were the rest of the time. So, and it's a wonderful history, and I use it all the time. I do not like. I don't. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was going to say it's a really good term. Like we've got t-shirts, handle all people. That's one of our best selling t-shirts.
Yeah, people get it. They really get it, and eventually, I'm hoping that through our token that they all know the history of that, because it means a lot. People are getting a little more affirmative toward veterans now than ever before, and they would like to know that this came from a combat zone, this word getting nice, and that it really means something to all of us, because you are getting nice, a lot nicer than you might have been. And anyways, so that, yeah, it's a good thing. It's just all a matter of time and energy. And my father, myself, and Eric have put out just huge amount of energy, thousands and thousands of hours on this. And, it's worth it. What do you do in life? You pick something and do it well. And we've already done it really well. And
we have over the years. And one thing I'm excited about is having this entire group of minds behind it now. This boardroom and everybody, and I'm pumped. I really am. And I've also had a kind of after this conversation tonight, and kind of an outside the box thinking of like, oh my God, there's more to it than just what we thought. We really have different ways to pump this throughout the process now. I didn't realize how much energy, how much power, and how much information Jeff had, that you can reach 50 different stems of people. It's insane.
Yeah, Eric, if you want to, you just type Jeff Kundert on YouTube channel and start buzzing through a few of those videos. A lot of them would now appear on what's called on Google on what's called shorts. These short videos called shorts, because a lot of them are real short videos. I try to keep some of my videos, like Jeff Returns to Vietnam, is like 2 12 or 2 16-minute videos. It's a longer video, but it's a cool video. It's when I went back there in 2003. And a couple of them are longer, but most of my videos are 1.5 to 3.5 minutes long. I keep them short because people's attention span isn't that long. And if you can have impactful message flowing across very quickly, you get a lot more views, and you can help people a lot more and make it happen. So yeah, Eric, just saying, I'm just here to do what I do. I am retired. I'm trying not to work too much. Buying a home beat us to death. My wife and I, what we do today, we stained 100 feet, 6 feet tall of fence 2 days ago. And I'm telling you, that's a bit of work to do over there, to prep and do all of that and stuff. So we continually are doing this, but this house will be our ticket, in retirement too. So we can, we'll probably end up in the Midwest again. I'm here in Denver now, my friends, and it is a pretty smooth life. Colorado, I'd say, is a much better place to be than Denver. We live northwest near Boulder. That's a little better here. The crime rate, there's that, when you get a city of 3 million, for instance, Madison, Wisconsin has 300,000. So we have 10 times the shopping malls here, and we have 10 times the crime, so there is a challenge here. But Colorado in general is a pretty smooth place to live. All in all, out in the country, it's a little different, but there's many little eclectic, beautiful towns here. But Wisconsin's a good ham and egg state. It's an old time insulated Midwest state. They'll be there through anything. People withstand the winters, so they withstand. And they handle it. And I'm proud to be from Wisconsin, and Madison, Wisconsin is my home, no matter what. I'm out here being a grandpa. We have 2 sons here, and them and their wives, and they both have grandkids. They both have kids, and so my wife's in her glory here, being a grandma. But we're pretty young people. We lift weights 3-4 times a week, and we're athletic, and we keep it going. And my wife's only 64, I think, so 63 or 4. She's really young. Should never say her age. She's 29. Yeah.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Jeff? I know that you went over a lot of stuff, and it was kind of cool to hear the background, and I think it's pretty neat that there's a big backing kind of this ACST coming out. y'all know. So, and remember,
Yeah.
we're hiring our engineers come Monday. Stones, I'll send you some more info on that. Before then, I'm gone Saturday through Sunday. I'll be back Sunday afternoon, but I will jump on. Jeff, is anything else you want to add? We're going to hit our 45-minute limit, and
Okay.
we're more
Well,
than welcome. I mean, I think we need to, like, every month or two, we need to hop on here. We only have a chat. You guys know you're still here and you're still back, and I'm in your ideas. So, and
so let me tell you.
yeah, go for it.
Go.
Go.
Yeah, I wanted to say one thing, and you can't stop me, Eric. So all of you on here, and I hope that I wish there were thousands of people listening and that will listen to this. I want you to know a couple things about Eric Martin. Eric Martin is a beast. He is a guy, he is not only a state champion wrestler, he's a national champion wrestler. He was a semi-pro baseball player until he tore his knee out. Eric does not quit at anything. He is one of the hardest workers I've ever seen in my life. Eric said about me one time, I'm one of the smartest. He was one of the smartest motherfuckers I've ever seen. That's Eric. But anyway, Eric is one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. He went to the base level. He ran Green RX Madison through the whole pandemic all by himself, every day, nonstop, and made it into the success that it is now. And when we start rolling in with the THC there, well, that's about 10 times. But that's not the point. The point is just that Eric is a no-quit guy who will take this. He's almost succeeded at anything he ever touched. When I met him, he had a giant building with a forklift with 30-foot, 20-foot tall shelves everywhere, shipping dozens of different products every direction, everywhere. And now his whole focus is in the cannabis world. So I can bet you that he's going to make things happen, my dear friends.
Amen, brother. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, y'all. We're going to cut her off here. I'll rewind it and get it posted. Let's fucking go. Just remember, this is a lot stronger, bigger than you think. We'll book a time with Jeff again. He's in the room. He can pop in anytime he wants. If he has any issues, I expect y'all just to help him out. I did set his securities up. He's just going to hang out in the boardroom. I don't think we should put him up in the main reefer room. We should meet dipshits there. Like 4,000 some people. So we'll hit him here, and we'll go from there. We'll keep pushing forward, and we'll definitely, got a lot of contacts, a lot of help behind us, so I know we believe in it. So that's all we need to know, And the lady behind him, is strong, Chris. She's badass. So trust me, guys, we're in good hands. Jeff, do you have anything to top it off?
Nope, I'm just wishing everybody well. I'll say something. Yeah, if you decide to be happy today and you have a happy day, you had a happy day. And if you can string those together, you got a happy life. And I'm saying that as a person who has suffered a bit in life. So we can be happy, my friends. We can choose that. And I'm so glad that we chose the herb too. It's just it's a good life, and it's a good medicine, and it's all a healing for us. So many blessings to you all, my dear friends.
All right. I appreciate everybody's time. Let's fucking go, Reefer Nation. It's going to be ASCT. Let's fucking go. I appreciate Jeff. I'm going to cut her off. We'll replay it. I'll post it. And then, you can always DM me, or you can post questions right in the main room. Jeff can answer them. I'd like to defer you from DMing him direct. We're going to train him to do TG, okay, guys? So help him out if he has questions. But I appreciate everybody. Jeff, I love you. I love your wife. You guys are great. Thank you for taking the time to be here as always. We're 20 plus years of best friends, and I appreciate you.
I love you back, buddy. Same to you and your family.
All right, let's fucking go, guys. Have a good weekend, everybody. I'll talk to y'all later. Big news coming on
Have a great
Sunday night.
weekend, everybody.
All right, appreciate you, Fred. Stones, Solo, Zeke. Let's fucking go.
Have a good one, fellas. Out.
All right.